And we're on? Good evening. I'd like to call the Dover Select Board meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 16th. First up is public comments. Anybody have a public comment? Okay, I see none. Moving. Yeah, well, we got and we will get the Wyndham Solid Waste, and Jeanette will be notified about this. So our assessment appears to be going up because it's based on population, and our population went up. So Merrill Mundell dropped this off. This was a meeting of 11/11. Did you go to that meeting, Dan?
No.
Okay. And I guess final vote is on 12/9. So that's the final vote for the budget. And I see we're going up about $4,000. Wilmington is going up. Marlboro is going up. I know all of those towns had significant population gains based on the census. So I'm sure I'm sure Joanne, I'm sure that Jeanette will be notified by Wyndham Solid Waste. Okay. I don't know. I've got so much going on in my head. Okay, that's the only public comment. The letter.
Did you want to bring that up or just?
Well, we did receive a letter from the North Branch Fire District asking to be put on the agenda today, which they didn't make the deadline. They want us to install water meters at the police department and the town offices. And they also we asked for a revised letter because this letter also asked for us to get one installed at Dover School, which we can't do, so we directed them in the right direction. We have 30 days. And I think that they're specific about the kind of meter that they want installed, so we'll have to get the details of that, but this will be on the next agenda, which is on the 7th, yes. So we will discuss this on the 7th. Anybody have any questions about that? So, okay. Anything else? Police department. We have the annual opening of roads to snowmobile traffic and related issues. What are the related issues?
Well, I wasn't sure which way it's going to go, but I think Jeanette sent this to you right before it has it.
Yes,
we
we all
so
got
it's
it.
the same as normal. You guys do your blessing of these roads for the upcoming year. I want to do that first, and then I'll just talk to you about some other things.
There are no changes?
No changes.
Okay. So we're going to need a motion to open the roads as listed on this memorandum from dated November 16th, to open these roads, there are 36 of them, to snowmobile traffic.
So moved.
Second.
That was moved by Joe and seconded by Sarah. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Unanimous.
So the only other thing that there was, and I don't believe there was a motion, so maybe I should have waited, but anyway, with 7-Eleven, and I think it was even done towards last year, that they do not want snowmobiles going to their place for gas. So therefore, there is no need for snowmobiles to go across
Dover Park.
Dover Park. And I think towards the end of the year, I think I saw that marked off or roped off anyway.
Okay.
So I would again, at this point, just recommend that be blocked off again with some kind of signage. I talked to Mike Garber today, just to see about more signage, because I also went and talked with the Kaplans, and then I was going to go talk to TC's, because since there is no gas to be done at 7-Eleven, there's no need for them to come down Horace Hill. If those two eating establishments didn't want them there or care, but after talking to Kaplans, they said they would still stay open. So that's fine. So a lot of the issues we had last year too, was snowmobiles actually coming down, and what I think the board was aware of, driving down the Valley Trail and across the bridge to get to Werner's gas station. So I had talked to Paul Fisher before I went to vacation, and again today with Mike Garber, just telling him that I would like to see better signage and not those little placards, so when you come down Forest Hill, if you cross the Valley Trail, obviously you're not gonna rope it because Dave plows, but I would like to see better signage there saying, you know, no snowmobiles beyond this point. I said I would like to see, you know, even at the top of Forest Hill up by the golf course, a sign saying, you know, food only, no gas, and hopefully that'll start alleviating some of the issues of those going down. And even mentioned that he even put a sign on Kaplan's property saying, you know, just before you get into the parking lot, of course, that's not for me to say, if he wants the snowmobiles in his parking lot, and that would also help deter them going into the parking lot, across the
Right.
road into the park, and just put no snowmobiles in parking here. So that's where we're at, I'm just throwing that out. I'm also, if the board has any other thoughts or anything they would like me to relay as far as any signage that they can view to, so we can stop this coming down, because last year we had a couple of issues where some people that lived in the trailer condos there, they would come down, come across the bridge and then go into their parking lot. They came close a couple of times to hitting some cars, so one of the guys that lived there actually put his truck at the end, so they couldn't come in, and so going around. So we had a couple of issues, so I want to see better signage anyway, so we try to alleviate that.
So are they, let me just clarify in my mind. Are you saying that they cannot use the bridge to get over to gas?
From what I understand, they can, because it's considered a motorized vehicle, right? And I don't think that they
Right,
want
and
to,
we
but
did
it's-
give them like a 1-year chance to do that when some things, I know that we said, okay, but the bridge has sustained serious amount of wear and tear over and above the foot traffic and the bicycle traffic that would normally have. And the decking is decaying. So I think if we can keep them off from the bridge, I would advocate for that completely. I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my thought too, and I was gonna bring it up, unless you don't really want them to go down the Valley Trail, but then now you have snowmobiles going down the Valley Trail, well, some people are walking it, and I think that's just gonna be added.
Right. And based on the grant money we received, it isn't a motorized, that doesn't mean that
Well-
Dave can't go across it and
Right.
clean it,
Maintenance is
but
different.
it's for recreational use,
Exactly.
right, yes. Any other board comments about that? Because we will be replacing that decking in the near future because it has been chewed up and you can tell it's from snowmobiles,
Absolutely.
yes,
We're gonna try to keep more of an eye on it too.
right,
So,
good,
yeah,
yeah, thank you,
yeah.
thank you. All right. You have a question?
Just a thought when you were talking about the roads and the access and the list. Some of the roads that were accessible to snowmobiles and ATVs last year were dirt, and now they are newly paved. Does that affect anything? Does it have any wear and tear on those roads, or does that change that list?
So one thing I'll just say with your comment is ATVs are not in this. ATVs are a different animal.
Okay.
They're not allowed. As far as that, I really, good question. I don't know. I haven't really talked to, Travis about it, and actually they're not even, when they go up the road, so I guess it's still pavement anyway, they're supposed to stay to the far right as possible, so, yeah, if they're paved, they're still probably gonna get.
Well, there have been roads that are paved, some of these roads have always been,
Yeah.
in my mind, been paved, so they've been, it's mostly just to gain, it's not that they can freewheel on it.
No.
They are supposed to be going from one trailhead to another, crossing at a 90-degree angle. It's just to get across mostly, sometimes it's, but yes, I'm trying to think, some of these roads have had pavement for some time,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Looking at it, yeah.
So, yeah, it does make wear and tear. I mean, you can see places where the trail's crossed by Boyd Farm. That's not in Dover, but it's clearly messy.
Go up there and look
Right,
at,
right.
Yeah,
the
well,
north
there's
end of town.
definitely
Yeah,
a
at the end of
difference
Blue
if
Brook.
somebody's going across at a 90-degree angle to get from here to there versus buzzing up and down the road. as
Oh, no,
happens.
they're not supposed to be doing that.
Well,
Not-
but
And that's
as
what it says
happens
on
in my
this.
neck of the woods. So that was kind of where I was curious with that.
Okay, they're to operate snowmobiles for access only to club and bass trails and only at times when the trails are officially open by the following town dirt roads. And it's really just to get to trailheads. It's not,
That's what I thought.
they shouldn't
Yeah.
be freeloading on any road up and down it's just to get to the trail.
And if they care about the machine, they should. Especially if it's done.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're at the assessor. We're gonna consider the reappraisal that Linda sent to everybody. Did everybody have a chance to look at it?
The RFP?
Yes, for the
Yeah, I sent
reappraisal.
you back some comments.
You did?
Yeah.
What? Did
Mm,
not get them.
when did I make these? Friday,
No, didn't get it.
okay.
Huh. What were they?
There's, some of it's fairly picky, but, I think, item 2J,
2J.
the contractor shall conduct informal hearings for taxpayers to question new assessment values and shall assist the town. Do we need to put in some sort of a definition of how much time they should be available to do that, or how they're going to make themselves available? It feels like that is somewhat vague and could be interpreted in a way that would not be very helpful to the taxpayer. I mean, if anybody here's like, I'm being too picky, please say so.
I've got comments going on that.
Well, maybe we could say, it's kind of, it sounds like it's at their discretion.
Right, and so I'm wondering if we need
So
to
we
have
say
a-
at the town's discretion, at the town's request?
I don't know what you
Scheduling
mean
shall
by
be at
that.
the town's discretion.
Yeah, or, yeah.
Well, can I respond?
Yeah.
To that? So this is a standard template that towns use. So my experience with RFPs is that they will respond to this in, I mean, they know they have to basically hang on until it's BCA hearings are finished.
I'm just wondering if we need to impose some sort of, that you and or the select board has some control over how this gets done. Or, I mean, are we saying that they'll be available to any taxpayer who has a question? Or so then the scheduling doesn't matter because they have to be available for any questioning, any taxpayer who has a question.
So what usually happens, once the values have been released, last time it was done with a newspaper, they set up 1 or 2 days of, that's where the informal hearings come in. So I think it was like 2 full days last time. And you don't need an appointment, people would just come in, they'll be there available, I would be available. And sometimes if it's a mistake that it's a simple correction, that can be done without needing a grievance. So it's to hopefully deal with that kind of stuff. Oh, I understand what you've done, I'm all set, it's fine. Very informal, as it states. Then appointments, the formal grievance dates would be set as they are any year, and appointments would be made for those.
Right, I'm not questioning any of that.
Understanding what
I'm just
more
asking
detail.
if, by wording it this way, if we are confident that we will have their availability for any hearing, any informal hearing or any question that any taxpayer wants to ask, or are they gonna say, we were there for one day, no, if you come after that, we're not showing up? I just want to know if this is standard, if this has never been an issue for somebody, then ignore me. I'm fine with that. But when I read that, I thought, that feels very loosey-goosey to me. That's all.
Well, and when they respond on their RFP, you know, some will address this differently than others, you know. A lot of our RFPs for various things say that, you know, Weston Sampson's gonna come and do, you know, 3 in-person site visits or whatever, and so I would guess that an RFP, they would address that point with what their plan is.
Okay.
Scott, you had a question?
No, well, I was just asking, was this what you got? Was that something that like has been used before and you just kind of change on the wording? Is that what you were trying to say? Oh,
It's a template.
Yeah,
the template, okay.
Okay.
so typically, when a town wants to send one out, they may send an email saying, I need an RFP for approximately this many parcels. They are available on the Vermont Assessor Lister Association website as well, that towns will post. This one, I was told by several people that they felt it was very in-depth and very well done, so that's why I picked this one.
Sarah, do you have some other questions?
Yeah, on the very top of page 8, I think it's a typo. It's item 8 at the top of page 8.
Item 8, I don't have an item 8.
Yeah, you've got a list. The proposal should include the following.
List of all
Do I have less pages than you guys?
Well, there's, number 1, administrative instructions,
That's at the bottom of the
and then
side.
it says the proposal should include the following, and it lists 9 items. And my question's about number 8.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it sounds like a typo.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, it does. It doesn't read right.
yeah.
Yes.
Administrative instruction, 8 lists, okay.
I think it should say list of all municipal reappraisals currently underway if completed, not of completed.
Okay.
Okay?
It's like she's an editor.
She is.
She is an editor.
Copywriter.
Is this, am I being too picky, asking for written consent instead of consent?
Where's that?
Right underneath. The work shall not be assigned or sublet without previous consent of the town of Dover. Should we ask for it to be written consent?
The work shall not be assigned without previous consent.
I mean, if it's standard and it's assumed that it's going to be written consent, usually when I see that, I think, I want to know it's in writing.
Wouldn't that be the contract? Or?
Well, it says the work shall not be assigned or sublet without previous consent, so
Or
if they wanted to
Pass
if they
on.
want to subcontract anything, that we have to give written permission for them
we
to
can
do
add
that.
that, that's
Just add
what
written
we're
consent.
here for. Without previous written, without
Yeah.
written.
Without previous written consent. And I think this is a typo. The contractor shall not either legally or equitable assign. I think it should be equitably.
Okay.
And
And
There was a question I had for you all. Actually. There was a section about a bond that I actually took out because I was told nobody does that. Nobody asks for that. Apparently someone did.
it's, I mean, technically, there's part of the zoning bylaw that we have the prerogative to request a bond for certain construction projects, but we never do. But we kept it in there. It's still in the bylaw because it gives us that ability should a certain, should a situation occur where we think we might want some financial protection. But I don't think that's the same.
did you have anything else, Sarah?
Just under indemnification, I think it should be hold harmless, not save harmless.
Okay.
Right at the, it's the last, basically the last page.
Save. And you said hold?
Hold harmless.
Oh, town contact, I put myself, but I didn't know, since this is my first time going through this, if that is more someone from the board. It just seemed,
That's the contract for submitting the RFP, isn't it?
Right, so I guess they're gonna submit the RFPs to you.
and then I would send them on to you.
I would collect them all, and I would also look at them and
Oh, yeah.
and evaluate, these people missed the mark, why is this one twice the price of all the other ones? Try to come up with, yes, we're gonna wanna see them, but we also wanna have recommendations.
Right.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Okay.
Any other board comments about this? Everybody on board with this? Is the board on board?
Board is on board.
Okay. All right, so with those edits, you are going to submit this and tell us the process for how and where you submit this.
So there is a list of acceptable appraiser companies, appraisers, that I can send these to. That is on the state website, so I will use that. I don't know, I guess I send them to all of them. And then see what comes back.
Okay. So, do we,
Including the current CAMA vendor, which is ProVal.
Jeanette?
I was just curious, does it need to be in the newspaper as well?
That the RFP is going out or inviting?
I guess just having it advertised.
Advertise that the RFP is available, it can be accessed at and we're requesting the proposals be submitted by the 14th of January 2022. It doesn't have to be big, just something to say
Would
that
that
it's available.
invite private appraisers?
Well, didn't you just said that it has to be state approved appraisers, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So then, do you have that list?
Just state that in the end, it has to be state approved.
I don't know,
I don't know either.
If we have to advertise it, that we are doing this.
I can,
I guess you could find out
Find
from
out.
somebody else.
And then if you have to, you have to. But I would definitely go with a summarized, very succinct, like where you can find the information.
But I think there's only 4 or 5 companies I was talking to. So Linda about that are able to actually do this. It's not like
But
It's open.
this document
Yeah,
should be on the town website,
Yes.
because anybody should be
Should be
able to read it.
public.
Yes, you
Right.
definitely
Correct.
need to put it on the town
Okay.
website. All right, so can we have no other discussion? Anybody in the audience? Okay, can I have a motion that we have Linda Sherman, the town assessor, submit the RFP?
I move that we authorize Linda Sherman to forward make the RFP available to,
You got it?
by the means described in this meeting, as amended.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and our second item is revisit the Warren Group request.
Okay, so I did speak with an attorney from VLCT, and he confirmed my original thought. And I need to retract the statement I made at the last meeting that this is Vermont law.
Mhm.
It goes on the Vermont Public Records Act. So I just printed out some facts about the Vermont Public Records Act. So any of our property cards, they could feasibly come down and make 4,000 copies. What usually happens is that a file is created right from the data and it's sent that way. So it's public information. Anything that is not for public eyes or is actually, I have locked in a file cabinet, and that's okay to do. Usually when it's things like income, cable is not public information, is what he submits. So according to the public records, we are required to have it available.
We do have it available in your office. And they are a for-profit company. They sell these lists. So anybody who comes in and requests this file can have it. I'm just questioning that. Are they the state contracted vendor for this, and so the state's making money on it? There's a lot. I don't know anything, but I did look up, and they are definitely a for-profit company, and they obviously want to get it in the least expensive, easiest way they possibly can.
They do get charged, but not by our town, but by the person. I don't send the file. It would be up to Russ, who deals with Proval. He's the one that does it. He can charge for his time to do it.
Again, this is our information that we pay to have put together. Why are we giving it to people and allowing this to happen? I want to know, I want a letter from the Warren Group basically now saying why they need it, how many other municipalities in the state give it to them. And I feel that they're asking for something that we make their job easy. And I'm not sure that I really care if they get that information. That information is available here. I want to know why the warrant, basically, if they want it, any other company can say, come in and ask for it, and then this Russ guy may make some money, but why should the towns not make money off from this? They're making money off from it. I'm not prepared to blanket say, take the list. I'm just one person, so the rest of you.
I'm
agree,
not
that's spot
comfortable. I'm not at all comfortable with that.
I mean, the thing is anyone could come in and get a grand list and
So let 'em
then
do
go
that.
sell that information.
Sure.
So let them do it.
So, or
What
have it
we're-
emailed to them.
So
I mean, we do that all the time.
Yes, Joe.
So it's been stated, and I think we all agree here, so we don't have to keep moving, is we do not want someone else that we've been paying to give away our information. So kind of, and Vicky's looking for more information about why, what, and where, and for now, they can come and get that by public knowledge.
If they,
It's about- so
they can submit a letter, the Warren Group, a court request,
Something
and
specific.
we'll look at it more. We'd like to know more about their company.
Mhm.
I think it's kind of, this is public information, and for anybody to say it's not, it's right here and it's public. Anybody can come in and get it. I get that, but why should we provide it to somebody else who then in turn may charge that person, you know, the Warren Group to get it? I don't understand why we lose control of it. You know, so whether it's whatever it is, I just think, I want to know more. I don't know them. I don't know. If they were a reputable company for this, why don't they send us a letter and tell us all the reasons why they want it and give us a company profile?
I mean, every town deals with it every year, so.
Well, I have never heard of this before, okay? I'm
Um,
in my 11th year on the board, so I would like to know more. I guess I've never heard of us asking about this before. So if we were doing it, I was not aware of it, the board was not aware of it.
What used to happen, it used to just get done out of the grand list, what's it called? Data, whatever the grand list is printed out of, so they would just get a grand list. And now they are wanting more information. I will, it doesn't matter to me. I certainly don't have time to start making copies of everybody's property card, but,
No, and we would charge them for that. I mean,
Oh, gosh,
we wouldn't do that for
absolutely.
free.
no.
So, I agree that you don't have time for that. I completely agree. But I also think a company wants this kind of information from a town and then is gonna go market it. I think I'd like to see them actually ask versus having you come to us and ask.
Yeah.
I'd like to know who they are, where they're from. I mean, I can Google this and find some of this stuff, but why should I have to do that? They're asking for something from us.
I mean, I did Google it just because to say, see what more can I give you.
Dan?
When we were doing the membership for the Historical Society, we got it online. We downloaded it online. So that's how public the information is.
But they want it all and
They
more
want us
information in one place.
They want us to put it together and hand it to them.
So,
Not
Okay.
us, but the vendor that we use that puts it together for us that we are.
Who we're gonna pay.
right.
With no
Okay.
profit to us.
Jeanette?
I just want to make a comment. I know other times, like I have been requested for public records, a public records request from an attorney or whatever, and, you know, for documents related to such and such. And they would pay me for my time, pay me for the copies, so it was always,
Correct.
there was a,
We're okay with that.
Yeah.
We're okay with us getting money for, and I think the taxpayers are fine with that too, because it is public.
And they would pay me to do that. I don't know how to do that. And I, seriously, in all honesty, I don't want to do that. This is the wrong time of year. Of course, when's the right
So-
time?
Well, let's see if they can provide any other asks, and I'd like to know, you know, why are we doing this for a company that's gonna make a profit on it? And they should mind their own data, as Sarah said in the last meeting, so.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody agree?
Yeah,
So just to recap, you want, Linda's gonna ask them to send
If
us
they
a
really
let-
want
If
it.
they want it, Linda's gonna ask them to send us a letter describing the company, describing what.
They do.
Specifying what they want and specifying, what their intention is to do with it, right? That's,
Yes.
Can I have a request
Yes,
that I passed that on to Russ.
sure.
He's the one that reached out to me, because they contact him now. Because he does do
So
it for other
that's the other
towns.
question. If Russ asks you for this, Russ is gonna benefit from this profit. Why is Russ not coming to us to answer these questions? That's what I wanna know.
So if Russ
So-
wants to come to
Because
him,
I-
Russ needs to come to, so what you need to do is tell Russ, they said no, Russ, you're more than welcome to go to a meeting. Boom, done.
I take
There
me
you
out of
go.
it.
That's
Yeah.
even
Done,
better.
I like
okay? So we're spending too much time and money on this. Done.
Next, the business, please.
Okay, thank you. And just everybody, Linda also sent us an update today of activities in her office, so thank you, Linda.
Which had nothing to do with any, I mean,
Of this, really,
That's
has
a
yes.
whole
everything
thing.
to do,
Yeah.
but nothing for tonight.
Thank you for the update.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Unfinished business, we need to review the supplemental site investigation report with Rebecca Treat from KAS. Rebecca,
Hello.
hi,
Hi.
how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. So I'll try to be as brief and concise as I possibly can. We basically did a supplemental site investigation that involved sampling a variety of media, soil, groundwater, drinking water. And the general gist of it is that we found some potential source areas for these PFAS that we're seeing on site. Two potential source areas. One is the town hall septic tank. And then the other is shallow soil near the town hall shed. So it indicates that there was a potential discharge of gray water or wash water from, the cleaning practices at this property previously. And unfortunately, there was a discharge to the ground surface in the vicinity of the town hall shed. And then also via the septic system from the town hall. We still believe that there was a potential discharge to the septic tank that services daycare and library building, but we haven't conclusively identified that. The good news to report is that the drinking water supplies in the area, the nearest drinking water supplies are still below standard, so that's great. Unfortunately, we did see an increase at the Linker well, so we probably want to monitor that a little bit more closely. But that's generally the good news. And then as far as impacts in shallow groundwater, we still haven't defined that, unfortunately. There's some elevated concentrations along I guess that would be the eastern property boundary. So we need to delineate that per Vermont regulations. So there's a few things that we need to do moving forward. One of them is to do some more drilling, install some more wells and really define the extent in the shallow overburdened groundwater. We need to, again, follow up and monitor those nearby drinking water wells a bit more. But that's kind of the general gist of where we are. I know it's probably not what the select board wants to hear, but that's where we are. I did briefly speak with the state today, trying to get an update on their review of the report. They're still reviewing it. So hopefully we'll know more on what their thoughts are in regards to CAS's recommendations this week or next.
Okay. Yeah, what? Dan, do you have a question?
No, sorry.
Oh.
Scott to get the papers from.
We're still,
I'm still
Um,
looking at them.
Does anybody have any questions from Rebecca?
we're still waiting on stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have
You
no
wanted to
questions.
look at this?
No, I wanted to get what he had already looked at, so I could.
Oh, the warrants?
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
we'll have to
okay,
vote on
okay.
it in a second.
Sorry, Rebecca, about that.
Uh-huh.
So I guess we're still waiting to hear from the state. Have we done follow-up drinking water, like from the Bartlett well? We were gonna do some testing on that.
Sure, that we have not, but that is now scheduled for next Tuesday. We were trying to do it this week in conjunction with the landfill sampling, but unfortunately that didn't work out for Ms. Bartlett and Mr. Fisher. So we have a site visit planned for next Tuesday to get that additional drinking water, those additional drinking water samples.
Okay, good. Well, I don't have any other questions. I think we might, once the state weighs in, But
Sure.
we appreciate you constantly keeping us informed. It is much appreciated.
My pleasure.
Till we meet again.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks,
Have a
Rebecca.
good night, you guys. No problem.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Oh. Are we getting, like, when they're just sitting there waiting, do you think, are we paying for them, like, sitting right there?
So,
and
Are-
waiting for them to report?
Yeah, but I mean, that,
I'm just wondering, 'cause
well,
if
she
they're
was just
there,
here, we should have asked her. But
Yeah,
that report that Scott is just bringing up, and now she's not here. Scott is bringing up, we're looking at the, you know, all the time, this is getting billed for.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know, we put her on the agenda, so she's here, like Scott is saying, we're getting billed at $95 an hour for really, in our opinion, my opinion, something that we still can't make any decisions on. We had good news, but she could have just put it in a letter.
Well,
But yeah, so I'm not, no, Jen, I'm not saying, we're spending a lot of money on this right now, so it's.
Jeanette.
I don't know that she's charging us for the 10 minutes that she was just.
She came up on the agenda exactly on time tonight, so.
I don't believe she's
Um,
charging for any.
Well, that's how everything is on that bill budget. Everything's marked
When
out
they
for
come
time.
out and do a site visit.
Well,
Every-
okay, so the big ding, they couldn't get the Johnson and Fisher wells the same day they were gonna do the landfill. So they gotta come back and do that. So that is gonna be a ding, but that's the way it goes.
Why couldn't they?
Because it didn't work out for the Johnsons and the Fishers. For the date that they wanted, they were here was not a convenient time.
She was trying
So,
to schedule it all.
And I appreciate the effort. They don't, I mean,
Yeah,
you know?
super.
So that, of course, that's costing money. And she said it was unfortunate they couldn't schedule them together.
But
So,
we're billed for everything.
yes,
See everything line items, that was
Yep.
billed.
Yep.
So just, no, I'm all right with the update, we're just.
I'm sorry.
Scott.
The Zoom calls are being billed on the invoice?
Did you see Zoom call?
it didn't say it, but
Every
the-
time they do
the-
anything.
it's like up to like the 3 minutes, like every 3 minutes, you're billed for something. So I'm just saying, listen, when their last presentation was very professional, you did a great job and everything. I was saying, if they're gonna be waiting there and everything, we should totally prioritize rather than them like, you know, waiting and sitting, like, no, we should just make sure whenever they get on there, we're having them report.
You tell me when you want them to come back.
Well, so that's a good, so Jeanette, I'm glad you're asking, right now, we're at the point now where our hands are tied, and we have to wait for them to do all their information. And then it sounds like from what I can hear from her, the state is gonna tell us what the recommendations are that we can do to make a decision. We're kind of, until that occurs, we're kind of, don't have anything we can say. The whole process is just a process. So that's the next time we need an update.
Or if they come back and sample the Fisher and Bartlett wells and the water is not good, then the process is definitely gonna be
Then we
impacted.
need to know.
Then we need to know. When they hear from the state, we need to know. So I think we need to stay on top of it, I think.
Of course.
And Jeanette, I guess you can ask them. Do you charge us for your Zoom presence? And if so, we'll put them at the top of the agenda. Okay, but I guess it's a fair question.
I mean, they do put in a lot of work when they do these reports, and
Yeah.
I find it.
But that's what's required by the state, so that we can't bypass that or shortchange that. That's what's required. But I guess that's a fair question. If we are being charged for the entire time they attend a meeting, then we will prioritize them and put them at the top of the agenda. Okay? So we know.
I appreciate you getting them.
Yeah, so we're not trying to be,
That's
we
good, I
just,
just wanna.
we just have to do diligence on how much this is costing, and we're not gonna get.
Jaw dropping by like in like 3 minutes. So like, I know they do, I wouldn't doubt their work, I'm just saying, if they are waiting, we should definitely just.
I don't see minutes. I see portions of hours.
Yeah, so point
Right,
five.
Is half an hour.
Point, no,
Point one.
no,
is
point
6
one,
minutes.
point one is
What
6 minutes,
was
so
it?
0.05 is 3 minutes.
And what does it say next to it?
It says project management, .05, $4.75, 3 minutes. or, there's not a lot of that really, really tiny stuff.
That's not-
You know, it's the overnight drilling for, you know, 6
course.
hours and stuff.
I love the laboratory, it doesn't tell us what they did in the laboratory.
Well, you want them to make a bigger bill, it's gonna cost us more money.
I know.
You want it more itemized? This
Yeah, I know.
is more itemized than even an attorney,
Yeah,
Correct.
that's very itemized.
so.
Here's the answer to that. 1 minute.
Did you have a question on that, Linda?
I was just curious, did they end up testing voids? I know-
Doing that this Thursday.
Oh, yeah, I was just curious as to
Mhm.
what they found.
They'll tell us, and that's separate, that's the landfill thing, and right now we're talking about kids in the country.
Ah.
Okay. Anything else on this unfinished business? Okay, moving to the consent agenda, we need to approve the minutes of the second of November.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 2nd, 2021.
Abstain.
Anybody want to second that? That's the one where you were here, there, and
I wasn't in, I was in La La Land.
you can second it.
Yeah, second.
Any comments or changes, additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
We need to approve the warrants for November 13th for $6,220,532.92.
So moved.
Second.
Any
Second.
concerns besides what was already been voiced? All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we have FYI, and I'm gonna stop when we get to the budget meetings, okay? Because I have a request from somebody. Dover launch final event is Thursday night at the Carinthia Base Lodge at 8:30,
5:30.
at 5:30, 8:30.
And we'll be asleep by then.
Yeah, I might be asleep before that. Department heads' budgets are due to the treasurer by November 19th. That is this week. The budget meeting on December 2nd. Sarah has requested that we move that to 3 o'clock. That'll probably go into the evening then.
I apologize.
What?
It's right now scheduled for 1 o'clock on Thursday, December 2nd. If we move it to 3, because Sarah has a conflict, it will probably not end till between, I'd say 6 or 7. So is that work for everybody else on the board?
I'm gonna get some orders snacks, I get hungry after.
No snacks for you, Joe.
I'll bring you some cookies.
Well, bring your own.
He'll get grumpy.
Jeanette, does that work for you?
We'll bring them.
Which night do you have DRB?
That's the 18th,
Okay.
November 18th. Oh, when would we have it if we had DRB?
No, is it a DRB night? No. December 2nd or December 9th? There's 2 meetings.
What meeting here?
December 9th would be.
Yes.
So this is the 9th one at 3 p.m.
Yep, that one's already at 3. That will be,
The second is at 3.
well, no, the second right now is at 1. We're discussing whether we can change it to 3 and if it's gonna work for everybody's schedule. The one from the 9th, we already had to set it for 3 o'clock, which is capital budgets, which tends to be shorter anyway.
Thursday.
Is that for most department heads?
Your department head budget is due November 19th, which is Friday.
this week.
Right, but when we meet with you.
Yes,
That would be
that would be the one.
And December 9th is 3 o'clock also.
No, I'm booked all day. From 8
I
to
just,
3.
if Sarah isn't at this meeting, I think we'll end up spending more time in another meeting to go over more
Explain
again.
stuff to me. I mean, the other option is you guys start at 1 and I jump in as soon as I can, but I can't get there until.
Or another day.
Hey, you have, Jeanette, have you scheduled any department heads yet, besides Randy?
Well, it's not
I'm
so
good
now,
anytime.
so now you're at 6 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock.
That's fine.
Did you send that email out?
No, because I haven't warned it yet.
So Jeanette, I can tell, doesn't really want it, and frankly, I prefer not to, but it's, I'm better earlier in the day than I am after working all day and coming in and then having a late afternoon meeting, and it's a budget meeting, We discussed mornings, that work for anybody, it doesn't work for you.
So on a Thursday,
Yeah.
works for me because I'm closed on Thursday night.
Okay. So, Sarah, why don't we start it at 2, and
Okay.
then with the hope of getting out at 5, and then you can get here
I'll
and
get
not
here as soon as
miss
I
too
can.
much, right?
Yeah.
Okay, does that work?
Yep.
Okay,
And if I
is
can get-
that a happy compromise between the two? Okay, so 2 o'clock,
Mhm.
and then, we'll keep the December 9th, which is capital, which is generally picking up again where we left off with that, and then finishing capital, so.
What
Is
time is
that our
capital?
next meeting then?
Huh?
Is that our next meeting, right?
Our next select board meeting is the 7th.
No, but that'll be our next meeting before the second.
Yes, yes.
What time is the capital?
It's at 3 on the 9th. It's right on your agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got that hammered out.
Thank you.
So we're gonna have the Dover Holiday Craft Fair on December 11th at the Dover Town Hall from 9:30 to 3. Yay, glad to hear it's back.
Be there.
Yay.
Be there.
Or great crafters.
Great,
Mm.
all right. Do we have any liaison reports?
Well, many members of the select board attended the fire department appreciation dinner, and that was a lot of fun.
It was. It was good to see everybody and honor the fire department, and it was great.
Mhm.
Do we need an executive session? I have heard of none, so I am going to say no. So I'm going to adjourn this meeting tonight at 7:23.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it doesn't. We need to, I want to put on the agenda the dog board situation.
Do we not